season than the end of the season. Yeah, I mean, there's a chance that they end up, winning the division. I don't think that's foolish. It's just when you get into the playoffs, it's a totally different conversation because I don't think your quarterback's good enough.
But how could you say that when you see guys like Brock Purdy getting there and Nick Foles winning it? Dak's
because I've seen those guys in the playoffs, game on the line, they go out there and they somehow find a way to get a drive. I've seen Dak Prescott have multiple opportunities and fail. So I don't believe in the game's biggest moment he's going to be able to go out there and do what needs to be done.
But unfortunately, Wolchuck, he's never had that good of a team.
Yeah, I think he's had, at some point, everything that we've wanted, and then we continue to just move the goalposts.
If you go back in the last 10 years, in individual years, he had a pass rush or he had the receivers, but he's never had them all at the same time.
And he's never going to.
He had this.
Then how can you? But you can't compare him to guys that did and say, well, Dak can't do that.
Nick Foles?
It's his teammates that can't
Nick
do
Foles
that.
Didn't. That Eagles team that won the Super Bowl with Nick Foles version in 2017, go look at that roster and tell me they had everything. They didn't. Alshon Jeffrey was their number one wide receiver. That dude was out of the league 2 years afterwards.
It was a better team.
I don't think that roster was better than any of the best Cowboy teams. I think the 2016 Cowboys team roster was better. 2021, when they got San Francisco at home in the wild card game, and they had that crappy, we're going to go try and spike it after you had Michael Gallup, Amari Cooper, and CeeDee Lamb.
You know what the difference was for
quarterback
Nick
couldn't
Foles?
Score enough.
He had a visor head coach on the sidelines, and now Dak has one as well.
Doug
That's
Peterson?
the missing ingredient.
I love it.
Maybe
Well,
it's shoddy.
the visor makes more sense than saying Dak just isn't good enough.
Yeah, I don't think so. I'm tried.
Surprised you'd say that.
I
Wolchuck.
tried.
What about the team that was second overall that lost to Green Bay?
Yeah, and what happened that day? Your defense
Was that a
played
good team
terrible,
or was that a
and your
bad team?
quarterback
I
played
was just-
terrible.
I'm trying to remember
You
how.
didn't have any linebackers on that team.
Yeah, you were just. It was the exact example of what the NFL is going to now, where you're playing Marquise Bell at linebacker.
Sure.
And you're taking advantage of that, but your defense also did stink that game. And then Dak's throwing interceptions on a slant route to Brandon Cooks. But I don't know how many times you need to see somebody have a chance to do it. And you either are going to, you're in year 10. I can't continue to defend the quarterback. He's not good enough in the biggest moments on the biggest stage. It hasn't happened come playoff time. He's done it once against Seattle.
I mean, Pat Mahomes has failed to score 10 points twice.
But Pat Mahomes has never not made it to an AFC championship game in his entire career as a starting quarterback.
I know, but I'm just saying it's sample size, right? Like,
yeah,
Dak is jumping into these situations where
size.
He's outbanned instantly. He does not have the better roster. When he does, he's won.
No, he hasn't.
Yeah.
He hasn't.
Massive problems. How are you going to beat Green Bay when your defense is giving up 200 yards to Aaron Jones?
They had a better roster than Green Bay.
Did they?
Yes. We all thought that they would steamroll Green Bay.
Did they play such a crappy regular season schedule that it looked like they were better?
No.
I mean, you can't stop the run. You can't run. In 2016, all you had was tank.
In 2016?
That's all you had.
The defense was mid in 2016. I'll give you that, but you had the best offensive line in the game and the best running back in the game.
So what wins
and
championships?
Des Bryant, who was still pretty damn good.
I mean, I don't want to go Nico on you here, but don't you need a good defense to win? You need a top 10 defense. Tom Brady never won one without a top 5 defense.
You're right. I think you definitely need a good defense. But you'll give him the great defense, which he had when they shut down the 49ers, and then Dak and the offense can't score any points.
Well,
so whose fault is that?
I don't know whose
defense
fault
did
it
their
is.
job.
I'm sitting here trying to figure out how, whenever I go on a remote, at least one Tolo says, "Hi, Gavin, I really like you, even though I don't agree with your Dak takes." They look at me as I'm the biggest Dak hater, but I like him more than you now.
I don't know if you like him more than I do. I think I've just come to the realization.
I just heard.
Let's have a like.
We get into the postseason, and this is what's happening.
I think
I was the one that tried to defend the hell out of him for years, up until the second
playoffs,
San Francisco game.
Playoffs, yeah.
But what you're doing right now is you're letting the Joneses off the hook. They love this. Yeah, blame Dak.
I'm not letting them off the hook. The roster sure isn't good enough. There's a ton of different problems. Dak isn't the only problem, but he's a part of it.
Okay, what are you doing, Dawson? Said the 817. I'm just trying to say I think Dak is a good enough quarterback to win the Super Bowl. That's it. You don't think so, Brian?
No.
Wow. And you don't think so, Chief?
No.
In the ultimate perfect
man.
scenario with the perfect coach and roster, is it possible?
What usually wins the Super Bowl?
I would say that
Yes.
there is a greater than 0% chance.
No, it's
But
usually does. The Eagles have done it.
in this organization, there is 0 chance this quarterback can win a Super Bowl.
I agree with you 100%. I think Chief just won that segment with one sentence.
Well, and he certainly hasn't been the solution to all the problems.
So all we needed to say was it's Jerry's fault that they're not going to win the Super Bowl. We would have won the segment.